Art is too important not to share. Welcome to the Allie and Callie Artcast.
Hi, I'm Allie.
And I'm Callie. Welcome to the Artcast.
Yes, welcome. It's a beautiful day in Coeur d'Alene.
Again, we're having a stellar fall.
We are.
We're so lucky.
Yeah. Why do they call it Indian summer?
I have no idea. We should find out.
We should find out.
I know. Historians, write in.
Yeah.
We don't know.
It's weird, but it's beautiful out there.
I know. And I know the weather's going to change soon. So we're trying to enjoy every minute of this lovely weather and sunshine. And the leaves are changing. And it hasn't been cold. It's been so nice.
I don't think the leaves changed so well last year.
No.
I think it got too cold too fast.
It messed up everybody's gardens and all kinds of stuff.
So I think it's really nice that this year
we might have
it's given
decent
us
gardens
a little break.
Next summer, maybe. We'll see.
Speaking of gardens, I harvested all my tomatoes yesterday. And most of them are green.
I have 2 green ones. So what does that mean? Do I take them out and...
Well,
will they green or
red, will they green up?
Will they become more green? No, I mean, will they turn red?
They will. The longer you leave them on the vine, the better. But the nights are getting cool enough that it's inhibiting their
growth.
Their
germination.
What I did is I pulled them all off the vine, and I've put them in paper bags with a banana.
Oh, God. I just threw away 4 bananas that were oozing juice.
Oh, yeah. You don't want to put oozy bananas in it. That's not good.
Gardening tips with Allie.
Yeah.
So
bananas are supposed to exert more gas than apples. A lot of people will put apples with something to make them ripen, to make whatever it is they want to ripen.
Okay. I heard of the bags before, but I didn't know put it with bananas. So I'll give them a shot because I'm going to eat them. Otherwise, I have some, when I was in Charleston, a couple years back, I bought some fried green tomato spices.
Yeah.
So they're green tomatoes.
We'll make fried green tomatoes.
So why don't I do that?
Yeah.
Okay.
If you need any more, I got 4 huge bags full of them.
Oh, wow. I have 2 tomatoes. So I have enough for me and no one else. But
one year I made green tomato relish.
Oh.
And it was actually very good.
That sounds good.
Yeah.
I love relish.
I'd rather them get red.
Yeah,
because every year I grow tomatoes and basil and garlic, and I make the basil pesto, and then I make this tomato basil pesto sauce.
And it's yummy.
And it's delicious.
It's yummy.
Yeah.
Well,
anyway,
we were models again for Junk to Funk.
Oh my God, that was so much fun.
Super fun, and I think they raised a bunch of money.
I hope so.
Well, we invited a lot of people.
We did.
And it was for the Kootenai Environmental Alliance. Stu's mom won the bike, the electric bike.
She won it. She had to pay for it.
She paid for it.
I love it when they say,
I won it.
I won.
I know. And I was like, oh my gosh. So I hope they use it. If not, they'll sell it, I'm sure. But the only issue was they couldn't hear all the descriptions of what everybody was wearing. So that was the only bummer about the evening.
They had some issues with the sound, which they'll fix for next year.
Yeah.
And next year it will be even better. They'll
bigger and better.
Grow it.
And get it back to where it once was, I think.
But it sure was fun. Our Facebook page has photos, a video of us walking down
the runway. Yes.
Dancing the runway.
Super fun. I showed it to Sayla and she was dancing with us.
She was.
She liked that.
Aww.
Yeah, it was pretty cute. Speaking of Facebook or our website, I just want to thank the people that listen to us.
Yes.
Because I've had more people come up lately and say, I listened to your episode. And we're like, thank you so much. Because, we do this because we love it. Mm-hmm. But we also love that we are sharing information about Coeur d'Alene and the surrounding areas. And hey, if you like it, Tell your friends
people about it.
And we'll share it because we have good information about the area and what's happening.
Right.
We're the what's happening girls.
We are the what's happening girls.
So I just wanted to give a shout out to the listeners.
Yes.
The faithful listeners and the new listeners.
And the new.
And join us. Yeah, exactly. Because this is our 4th season and we're almost at
We're almost at 150 episodes.
Which is amazing. And that just tells you how much is going on in Coeur d'Alene in the area. And so many new things are happening. For instance, bum, 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 we have a whole new theater organization called ShakespeareCDA.org.
Yeah.
And they are presenting Macbeth. This is the second performance of...
It's our second play.
Yes. So
this
we
is
would like
Mary
to...
Bowers.
Welcome, Mary.
Welcome,
Thank
Mary.
you.
Thanks for being here.
So tell us what inspired you to do Shakespeare in Coeur d'Alene?
Yes.
It's kind of an odd story of how a theater company started, but I knew I wanted to move to Coeur d'Alene. My niece lived here, and I didn't want to teach after 30 years anymore. And I was trying to figure out what I was going to do, and I was thinking of options and talking to my niece, and she said, well, what would you do if you could do anything? I said, I'd direct Shakespeare. And she said, well, why don't we do that? And it really was a why don't we do that?
Yeah.
And we immediately Googled Shakespeare in Coeur d'Alene, and we were shocked that there wasn't a Shakespeare company here.
Yes.
Right.
Because it seems the perfect location
Right.
for a Shakespeare company.
Right.
Yes.
And
not even one in our region, I don't think.
Montana Shakespeare comes in and does a performance
Right.
or two. And of course there is Spokane Shakespeare.
Oh, there is?
And yes.
Oh, funny. I've never heard of them.
But there was nothing unique to this community.
Area. Right.
And this area and we were we were just amazed at that.
Yeah.
We thought, we have to do this. And it sort of came together as a plan, as a present to myself for 30 years of teaching middle and high school. I booked a river cruise on the Danube, and my niece Maggie Johnson and her daughter Allie came with us. And really sitting on the top deck of that boat, sailing down the Danube, we outlined what we wanted to do, how we wanted to launch it, what our first plays would be. We knew immediately our first two plays.
Yeah.
Wow. Actually, we knew we wanted to do Midsummer. We wanted to start with Midsummer.
Such a great one.
It's just...
It's fun.
It's fun. It's funny. It's accessible.
Yep.
Yeah.
It's summertime. It was that we knew we wanted to start with that. And Maggie suggested that we do something kind of off season. She said, there's just not enough to do off season. How about if and I said, well, we could do Macbeth to coincide with Halloween. It's got witches, it's got blood.
Right. Oh, yeah.
Brutal, lots of murder. It's very murdery.
Yeah.
Trouble.
Yes. There's lots of toiling and troubling. And it's a very stabby play. And so we knew, almost immediately we knew it was going to be those two plays. And Midsummer opened. Honestly, we have been flying by the seat of our pants. We are not...
Best way to fly.
We're really... I was sort of a Shakespeare scholar, not really a theatrical person. I have a master's in Shakespeare studies. I lived in Stratford-upon-Avon, attended the Shakespeare Institute there, which specializes in Shakespeare in performance. That's always been my interest, and I've seen literally every play and many of them multiple times. And I've always wanted to really shape it. And I've directed here and there, including when I was at graduate school. But we kind of came into this not knowing a lot.
Right.
And we have sort of just found our way. We added a member of our team early on, Brando Boniver, who is a very accomplished actor with a long resume of Shakespeare and classical theater. He's classically trained, and he kind of filled in some expertise that we were lacking. And he's been our fight captain, our fight coordinator for Macbeth. We've got some really good action. Lots of swords and shields and pokey things. And cool.
That's fun.
It has been just finding the right people. It's amazing how people fall into your life. It has just been remarkable how we have crossed paths with such amazing, talented people.
Oh, yeah.
And this region is just, this community
We're
is
teeming
just,
with it, I think.
our cast is all local.
Yeah, I love it.
That's really cool.
And I've lived here a long time, and I know there have been many people that have talked about, when are you going to do Shakespeare? When are you
Right.
going to do it? And I know people talked about it, and nobody could just pull it together
Yeah.
and get it done. And the fact that you guys did it, and you did it at Riverstone,
We
right?
did it at Riverstone.
You did. I saw it.
Oh,
I was there.
Oh.
And we made that first play free.
Yeah.
We wanted to show the community
It can be done.
this is what we can do.
Uh-huh.
And it was a bit frantic for us, but I think it was a fun production. I think it spoke well to what we can do. I will say Macbeth is a big step up.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's a big step up in terms of our knowledge, our level of expertise, and the quality of production.
Right.
I went into Midsummer very anxious. I'm anxious again because there's a lot on this, but I'm not anxious about the quality of the acting. I'm not anxious about the quality of the play. It works. We're forging some new perspectives on a very familiar play. I think that there are a lot of cliche traps that Macbeth is prone to, and we've worked very hard to remain true to the intentions of the text.
Oh, cool.
But not be cliche about the relationship of the couple. That's the core of the play. And we have a very, very human Macbeth and Lady Macbeth. We have a very relatable, in a way, considering the fact that they basically sell their souls to the devil in
Right.
the first act. But they are also deeply in love with each other. They are connected. And they're connected in a very, very perverse and twisted way. They do not bring out the best in each other. He calls her my partner in greatness.
Oh.
They are this is Shakespeare 400 years ago.
Yeah.
And this is an equal partnership. Too often you end up with the shrieking, nagging Lady Macbeth who's emasculating Macbeth. That's not our take on this at all.
Oh, that's awesome.
No, she wants him to be great. And she is his buttress to hold him up, and unfortunately it's to murder people, but
Right.
it's
Just that little thing.
just that little thing. So that's been our approach to that, and I'm just really proud of this play. I think Coeur d'Alene audiences, regional audiences will find it easy to understand. Our cast speaks the language very, very well. It is not something that I think people will be confused by, even if they're complete novices to Shakespeare. The action moves. It's easy to understand motivations, and you go along for the ride. And
that's
it's
great.
a heck of a ride.
So it actually opens on Thursday, which is the day before this podcast airs, but it runs through the weekend. So
And then it runs
Thursday,
the
Friday,
following
and then
weekend.
it runs the following
And it's
weekend.
at the Croc.
And our first performance is actually to a group of teenagers.
Oh.
We're having a student day matinee, and we have classes coming from various schools. We invited all the schools for less than half the price of a
Right.
normal student
Oh, I
ticket.
love that. You're
and
introducing
it's
it to young
going to be
people.
a big crowd.
Yeah.
And I mean, we really believe in building audiences.
Yeah.
And a lot of students read Shakespeare. Shakespeare cannot be understood until it is seen.
Right. I agree with
It
you
helps
there.
so
These are
much.
theatrical texts.
Right. So how much are tickets?
They are $30 plus fees for regular admission. Students, seniors, and military, $25.
Okay. And they can get their tickets at ShakespeareCDA.com.
If they go to ShakespeareCDA.com or ShakespeareCDA.org, there is a link, and they can order
Easy.
tickets.
Yeah.
But they could probably stop at the Croc Center and get them at the box office.
I think on
feel
day
like-
of, yes,
Yeah.
definitely.
Yeah.
Okay.
The Ovation Company, in partnership with the Chalkboard Agency, is committed to improving the climate and culture of our schools. The number one indicator for student success is connectedness, feeling like you are part of something. Nothing helps connect people like a good story. After all, isn't a podcast a way to share and collect stories? The Chalkboard Agency's mission is to connect the world of education through the stories that bond us all. To find out more, visit thechalkboardagency.com. And if you have a story to tell that you believe would help young people to be kinder to one another, reach out to the Chalkboard Agency and let us connect you to the world.
Greetings, listeners of the Allie and Callie Artcast podcasts. This is Jason from Tubbs Coffee Roasters. Keeping art alive and culture relevant is the heart and soul of our community of creatives. And as a local coffee roaster who loves a good origin story of a painter or a farmer or a musician, we proudly support the Allie and Callie's Artcast podcast's expansion and exploration through positive conversation. So grab a cup of coffee, preferably one from Tubbs Coffee Roasters, and tune in, humans. Your ears will thank you.
Well, I want to know, what is it that inspired you to love Shakespeare in the first place? Because that's an unusual thing for a young woman to go out after.
Well, young, thank you. It was not a direct straight road. I read my first Shakespeare play in 8th grade, and I had a well-intentioned but rather foolish teacher who thought 8th graders could understand Hamlet.
Right. Oh, boy.
Yeah,
Hamlet.
I mean, as a teacher, I now, what was he thinking?
Yeah.
Actually, Macbeth is the best play to start kids with, I think, because it's so linear and simple plot. Mm-hmm. And I read it in high school. I always knew it was good literature. And I've always been I was a curious kid. I read early. I devoured books. But Shakespeare, I kind of struggled with. And I kept going back because I kept realizing, okay, I know these are good stories, but there's something else here, and I'm not quite getting it yet. I never gave up on it. Mm-hmm. And then I had an opportunity as an undergrad to study in London, and I took a class in Shakespeare. I was the only, at the time I wasn't even an English major, it was communication arts. I was the only non-English major in the class. But I had the chance to go see the Royal Shakespeare Company in the National Theatre of England. And I can tell you the moment I fell in love with Shakespeare. It was during a performance of Twelfth Night at the Aldwych Theatre in 1980. And John Woodvine's performance of Malvolio had me laughing so hard I could not breathe.
Oh, wow.
And that realization that I knew Shakespeare was great literature, I knew Shakespeare was great theater, but to know it could make me laugh that hard, I'm like, oh, I'm in. I am in. And from there on, the more I learned, the more I wanted to know, the more I just used every opportunity I could to see plays and to think about them. And then as a teacher, I've taught several of them for years. And it has never grown boring. It has never grown old. There isn't a perfect Macbeth, Hamlet, Much Ado About Nothing. There is no definitive. So every time you go, there's a chance you're going to see something that's new.
A little different take.
That makes you see it in a new way. And that's what just gives me goosebumps.
Right.
The fact that they've survived 400 years.
Yes.
It's something has to be said that it's so well written. The words are brilliant. And even if you don't understand them, I know Romeo and Juliet was the first one I read. And I think it was in high school. And then we watched the first movie.
Right, the Franco Zeffirelli.
Yes, Franco Zeffirelli. And, which made me love it even more.
With those beautiful young people.
Yes. And
every girl's in love with Romeo.
Yes, exactly. And I didn't understand all the words at the time, but I got enough of it that I was invested, and I was devastated that this story was so heartbreaking,
right?
That I was like, this is brilliant, and then I wanted to read more, but I didn't get into Shakespeare until that time where I was like, okay, this is different. And not that I did a lot of Shakespeare in my life, because I went into musicals, but there's
a lot
something
of people in our casts had never done Shakespeare before.
I love
Really?
that.
Mm-hmm.
That's great. It's just so natural.
And that is one of the keys, is it should be spoken naturally.
Yeah.
And
I think we get tied up in the iambic pentameter and all this stuff.
And that's really important, but it's important because it is natural speak.
Mm-hmm.
It isn't, standing and declaring Shakespeare.
Right.
That we don't use accents. It's the way people speak naturally. We want it to feel natural. It should. And when it's done well, you shouldn't even really notice, oh, that's Shakespeare. The best compliments I received after Midsummer, and a few people told me this, and I was sailing from these comments, was that really Shakespeare?
Oh, that's great.
Because I understood it.
Mm-hmm.
Wow.
Yeah, you could not pay our company a higher compliment.
Yeah,
that's
for
wonderful.
sure.
Yeah, that's
for
wonderful.
Sure. You want to hear mine?
Yeah.
Romeo, oh Romeo, wherefore art thou Romeo? Deny thy father and refuse thy name, or if thou wilt not, be but sworn my love. That's all I know.
That's very good.
Very good.
I can't remember any of my
Just
Shakespeare.
thinking about doing this podcast the other day, that popped into my head.
Yeah.
It's the only Shakespeare I know.
But everybody knows some of it.
Yeah.
Right, I know.
It's in the air. It's in
Yeah.
the water we drink.
To be or not to be.
That is the question.
Whether it is noble
Nobler in the
mind or
to suffer the slings and arrows of outrageous
I love that.
exactly. See, you know a little bit.
Right.
And there will be things that you'll hear in this that will be like, that was from this.
Yeah.
Yes.
Shakespeare coined phrases, the be-all, end-all, that's in here. One fell swoop, that's in here.
Right.
He invented phrases that we use, and words
All the
we use
time.
all the time.
That we
I
don't
love
even
that.
know that. Yeah.
Right.
Oh, it's great.
Yeah,
That's
my
so
mother
fun.
used to. I don't know that she actually read Macbeth to me. We used
Not
to
exactly
talk about
good
it.
nighttime reading,
No, it
I will
isn't.
say.
But
Well-
we talked about it. I just remember talking about Lady Macbeth and the fact that the Macbeth couple were, murderers and boil, toil and trouble or whatever that.
Yeah, the witches.
That one I don't know very well, but
Yeah.
I know it kind of goes like that.
They actually
With
don't
the
do-
witches.
they-
Yeah, they probably
We have
don't.
kind of an odd cauldron, so it's different. It's a more organic cauldron.
Oh, cool.
That's great.
Oh, good.
Well, how exciting, though. This is going to be so fun.
When I grew up in Virginia, and my mom used to take us to the Shakespeare in the Park that was right there in Washington, D.C., right below the monument.
Right on the mall?
Right on, yeah. And they would set up this huge stage, and we would go. It was always free. And The Tempest was my favorite. And I even named my cat Caliban.
Oh, not Ariel.
I know, no, Caliban. I thought Caliban
That's
was
too
cool.
fun. Yeah.
No, it's
great.
Creepy
Yeah.
Caliban.
I know. So I think the wonderful thing about Shakespeare is that if you had exposure to it as a kid, then bringing it back it's like these memories just keep popping in of the various shows you might have seen, or just the impressions
Or
that
the
you might have gotten
sonnets,
from the show itself.
And that's why we want to reach these kids. There's nothing to be afraid of. This is not boring old stuff. Right. This is a bloody good time.
Yeah, that's
good
awesome.
time.
That'll be fun.
Perfect for Halloween.
So it
I
says
think that
this
was
play is
brilliant.
not recommended for ages 12 and under. Just for those that are
Might
a
be
little squeamish
sensitive. Yes.
or sensitive, right?
Right.
I know.
Yes, there's some brutal images.
Right.
I mean, within the text, there are children who are murdered.
Right.
Oh, the first murder you see on stage is a child.
Oh,
Yeah.
geez.
And it's awful.
It's
Yeah.
hard. I remember the first time I saw Macbeth, and Denver Center Performing Arts. I remember it vividly. It just sticks with you.
Yeah, I'm sure.
It's one of those times
right?
it sticks with you.
When it's done well, it does. It resonates and it keeps the memories, and you think about it, and you realize how much it has to say about our humanity and how much it has to say about the human condition. Because this play deals, it's very much good and evil.
Yeah.
But it's also about guilt and about conscience and how inescapable they are.
Yeah.
And no matter how much you think you've closed the gates, you cannot.
Yeah.
You cannot turn it off.
Right.
And as Lady Macbeth learns, it will get you.
Add a little flair to your special events with Scraps Barbecue, a great catering choice for your next gathering. Specializing in golf tournaments, sporting events, weddings, and other family friend gatherings, their commercial kitchen can be on site, or you can choose to have a fully catered meal delivered right to you. Known for their authentic Santa Maria style tri-tip and tequila lime fish tacos, they can customize the menu to meet your needs for groups of 20 to 2,500. Contact Kevin at kevin@scrapsbarbecue.com or check them out on Facebook.
For all your screen printing needs, trust the local you can count on. Pyramid Printing has been a Coeur d'Alene favorite for over 2 decades.
Specializing in screen printing, embroidery, signs, banners, and stickers. For all jobs, big and small, just give Eric a call.
Email us at info@pyramidprintingcda.com or give us a call at 208-664-0254.
PyramidPrintingCDA.com.
We had the fortunate opportunity to see a little bit of Macbeth, a little scene, Act 1, Scene 7, right?
I believe that's
I
right.
think it was. And it was Macbeth and Lady Macbeth at the Mayor's Awards. So a little promo. And I just wanted to mention the costumes are fabulous. So tell us a little bit more about the production and who else you have involved.
Our costumes are designed by Denise Leonard, who had designed for Northwest Inland Opera.
Yes.
Oh, okay.
Yes, she is remarkable. She did our costumes for Midsummer as well. The play just looks so good, and it's period. We do not always do period plays. Midsummer was modern dress, but this is medieval. The gowns are gorgeous, and the men are all tartaned and rugged looking.
Yeah.
And our fight choreographer is sort of our armorer as well. He's going to be fitting them out in armor. So that looks excellent. Again, people falling into your life. I got a phone call from a gentleman who was from Texas, who was a sound creator, Bill Carr, and he's doing our sound.
Oh, excellent.
And he's here, with his sister for a while, and he worked in theater, and remarkable man with a wonderful history of all sorts of things, music, and so he's creating our sound effects and music and all that.
How about the set? Who's doing the set?
Our set was designed by Maddie Mack. We were so lucky that the gentleman playing Angus in our play, Roger Huntman, is a carpenter, former carpenter.
Perfect.
And that poor guy has been working
His tail
day
off.
and night for the past 2 weeks on our set. It's still being put together at the Croc.
That's
we
great.
moved it in last night.
That's great.
Yeah. Oh, good.
Well, it takes a village, It's not easy to put on shows, and there's so much that has to go into it. Believe me, I've struggled as a director in town. My husband's built many of my sets because he used to be a director and an actor, and so I was like, "Oh, Stu, I can't get anybody," and then he helps out, and thank God he did, because I can't do it. I'm like, I haven't done that since college, and I don't want to do it. I want to focus on other things,
right? And you can only do so much when you're directing a play.
Yeah,
but our cast they've pitched in.
That's awesome.
They were a bunch of them were there at the Croc last night at 10 o'clock last night.
Nice. How big's your cast?
24.
Wow.
That's huge.
And we conflated several characters. I mean, I got rid of a few Scottish lords. And, but it surprised me when I first looked at the text and started editing it. There are a lot of people.
Yeah.
This play.
Yeah.
Our Macbeth was literally the first person who ever auditioned for anything for us.
Really?
He was our first audition for Midsummer.
Wow.
And he played Demetrius in Midsummer.
Oh, fun.
And I had him in the back of my head for Macbeth. And then we did an art on the green, what I called Shakespeare 101. It was a collection. It was a comedy scene, a tragedy scene, and
fun.
a history.
Yeah.
And he did, he and actually my niece, Carrie, a different niece, did the Richard III Lady Anne scene.
Oh, nice.
Carrie had played that role in community theater in the Seattle area. And Nick just kind of knocked me out with that. And I'm like, yeah.
Yeah, he'll be great.
He's going to be a good
Oh,
Macbeth.
that'll be fun.
And then Shoshana Rubley, we had cast almost the whole play and we didn't have a Lady Macbeth.
Oh.
And we put out another call and she showed up. Again, classically trained. You know, this woman, Stella Adler and Lee Strasberg Institute.
Wow.
I mean, remarkable.
Yeah.
Remarkable training, remarkable actress. We were just, where have you been? And she hasn't acted in a long time.
Yeah.
And I mean, we were just like, yeah, okay, well, we found our Lady Macbeth.
That's great.
And then she said, my son also acts. And we're like, well, we need a young man to play Fleance and young Seward. And so her son Samson is playing two roles. And Nick and Shoshana are just remarkable. I mean, you saw them at the mayor's event. They have great chemistry. They're so good together on stage. They're believable. It's an emotional connection that I hope the audience will feel for this,
Oh, cool.
for them.
Yeah.
Oh, I can't wait.
Yeah.
So what are your plans for the future? I mean, how many shows do you think you want to produce a year?
Well, I'd love to. We have long-term dreams.
Yeah.
Long-term dreams like a permanent space.
Yeah, that's what everybody wants.
Long-term- Right, yes. Coeur d'Alene.
Isn't that crazy?
Coeur d'Alene should have an art center. And I would love to have an outdoor venue. We would love, I mean, long-term, to have a company, you know, a rep company.
Right.
Like Ashland, like some of these. I mean,
That
why
would
not?
be fabulous.
Why not?
Yeah.
Why not us?
Right.
But as far as near future, you know, a lot of this depends on support.
Right.
You know, it's ticket sales, it's sponsorship, it's finding patrons.
Right.
Well, that brings me to you want to talk about who's sponsoring?
We don't have like big major sponsors. We have Locked and Loaded Garage Condos has been incredibly generous to us. And our space, my niece has one of theirs, and that is actually, we call it the Bard Box. That's our rehearsal space.
Oh,
That's
cool.
fun.
But they have let us use an additional space for our building. We still need the big donors. We need the big, you know, founder circle type donors. And I'm hoping that people see value in what we do.
Right.
And a reason to keep us. To circle back to what you were asking, what we want to do next year is, I had hoped we could do 2 plays next summer. I have a feeling we'll be able to do 1.
Right.
And it will be Much Ado About Nothing.
Yeah.
Oh, cool.
Such
Which is
a good
everybody's favorite.
It's
Right.
a great one.
It's
It's a great
everybody's
one.
favorite. If we can.
Well, my favorite is The Tempest. But,
Oh,
and my favorite's Midsummer's Night's Dream.
yeah. Well,
you missed that.
I know you missed it.
Nothing is a good show,
And
too.
that's a great one, too. I love that one, too.
It's been done in film so many times, and that people just they love it. And
Yeah.
it's got that fabulous couple that's so modern,
Yeah.
in their banter. And I'm not sure about the setting. I think might be doing a 1930s kind of Noel
Oh,
Coward
fun.
That'd be
thing.
fun.
You know, dinner jackets.
Yeah.
Champagne.
Yeah.
Yeah, but we do need to find a venue. We're hoping we can get that settled. And then for the fall, we might be doing another serious play. Not quite sure, hasn't been nailed down yet. We're still kind of operating on let's see if this works. So the future is still, we are hopeful.
Yeah.
Very hopeful. We know that what we're doing is worthwhile.
Yeah.
We know that it's bringing something of value. The arts are so important, and people can be generous in so many ways. And there's so many wonderful ways to give money and to donate to so many wonderful things. And with the arts, you have to sort of justify it. What the arts mean to me and to us is bringing beauty. To me, there's nothing more beautiful than Shakespeare's language, Shakespeare's revelation of humanity. The arts remind us why living is beautiful. And that's something I hope that we can convince people of in our effort to build a sustainable company. And we have big ambitions. I've looked into the history of other Shakespeare companies. They make huge impacts on their community. I mean, Ashland, Oregon.
I know.
yeah.
Who would know Ashland, Oregon?
But it's
if it
all
weren't for
about
Angus Bomer 90 years ago saying,
Right.
hey, kids, let's put on some Shakespeare.
Right.
Yeah.
Alabama Shakespeare is one of the finest in the world. They started in high school gym.
Wow.
I mean,
Yeah.
they're one of the top 10 Shakespeare companies in the world now.
Yeah.
Right.
They, after 8 years, were the leaders in spearheading an arts center for Montgomery, Alabama.
Wow.
You have these companies. I mean,
They're so-
Ashland
yeah.
brings in 2 million people a year.
Wow.
Utah Shakespeare
Yep.
brings in 500,000 a year.
It's the middle of the desert.
Why can't we be a Shakespeare destination?
Well,
Absolutely.
you can. And it
that's-
sounds like you're on your way.
Yeah.
That's the dream. And
Well, you just got to keep pushing that passion that you have, because it's very clear that this is really meaningful to you.
Yeah.
And the way that you convey it makes it meaningful to me.
Yeah, and
lovely.
also I think it's something we're missing. We don't have this, and we
Right.
haven't had it. And anything we've had has been, I mean, we did see Shakespeare at North Idaho College because it's part of their courses. I think we saw one last year.
We did, and it was really cool because what was it?
Is it As You Like It?
No, I thought it was Midsummer Night's Dream.
Oh,
but
it was.
with the
With Bottom.
It was done
That's
in
Midsummer.
the
It's Midsummer.
Yeah,
it was Midsummer.
It was 60s style.
Yeah.
He did it like a
Hippie.
a hippie. It was
Yeah.
really funny.
It was fun. Yeah.
That's a popular take on it.
Yeah, there's a lot of theater out there, and I think people just don't know where to go and what, there's more than just Coeur d'Alene Summer Theater, Aspire, and Lake City Playhouse. There's other things out there. So
Right.
we want to promote all of you and make sure
So
that
appreciate it.
everybody gets out there, and especially just broaden your spectrum. Shakespeare's cool.
Shakespeare
And
is
it's
cool.
not boring.
It's not
No,
boring.
It is not. We are not doing fussy Shakespeare.
No.
This is gritty,
Yeah.
visceral Shakespeare. When we do a comedy, it will make you laugh, even if you've never seen Shakespeare before. And if you have seen Shakespeare before, I'm hoping you'll see something you haven't seen before.
Yeah.
Oh, that's cool.
That's
And
fun.
I agree so much, and thank you so much for this opportunity and for promoting us. The theater world here is wonderful, but there's a place for this too.
There is
Absolutely.
a
And I
place
love
for
that you
this.
have actors that are knowledgeable and that are willing to learn and willing to, get their teeth into some Shakespeare.
And we give them resources to
Yeah.
help them. I mean, there are wonderful resources in how to approach the text, and that's something I know a lot about as well. We hope to do summer camps for Shakespeare
Oh, fun.
performance next summer, and we tried it last summer, but we weren't well known enough yet.
Yeah.
Right.
And so we're hoping that next summer we'll get some people
Yeah.
interested in that.
Well, it's so fun.
Well, good.
And I love that you're doing the school performances because we need to bring in a new theater community because, as we know, a lot of them are, some of them are aging out and aging out in a,
But not us.
not us. Not us. No.
That was actually the idea of our educational consultant, Lauren Sherman. Talk about people coming into your life. I taught Lauren in 2001 in Sacramento, California.
Oh, wow. How fun.
Actually, I wasn't her teacher, but she was part of the school. She helped create the Shakespeare Society at our little girls'
Oh,
school.
how cool.
Oh, fun.
And when we launched this company a year ago, she showed up with her son Will
Oh, funny.
And Lauren knows Shakespeare. She's another high school teacher. She knows she's very, very well versed in this. And she said, we should do a student show. That's
Cool.
genius. So
Yeah.
she really spearheaded that student performance. And we
I
have,
love
think,
that.
over 300 kids coming to see us
That's great.
Thursday
That's
at 10 a.m.
awesome.
That's
Yes.
so great.
Yay.
Because I tell you what, those were my favorite days when we, in school, when we got performances coming in that were performed by other companies, that they just stood out as the best days of school.
And some of my favorite memories are going to that Shakespeare in the Park in
Right.
Washington, D.C. when
Yeah.
we would go and, even when we were young and didn't really understand, we would run around, but we would hear the words. And
Yeah.
They just echo and
Yeah.
bring back those memories when you hear them
Yeah.
again.
It's so cool.
Well, let's remind everybody again that
Yes.
it's at the Kroc Center this weekend and next weekend. So the 17th through the 19th.
Thursday, Friday, Saturday evening.
And then the 24th through the 26th.
Which is
Starts
also
at
Thursday, Friday,
7:30.
Saturday?
Yes.
Yep.
Okay.
And you can get your tickets at ShakespeareCDA.org.
Yes.
Yes.
So get your tickets.
Yep.
Please, you won't be disappointed. I think you'll really, really enjoy
I can't
it.
wait. I
think
haven't
so,
seen
too.
Macbeth in a long time.
Right.
It'll be
I'm
fun.
not sure I've ever seen it.
Ooh,
I
I
just
Ooh.
know about it.
Oh, it'll be fun.
Yeah, I know. We'll have to go.
Yeah.
All right.
Well, thanks so
thanks
much.
so much,
Ladies.
for being here.
Absolutely. I'm excited.
Yeah.
It'll be fun.
So I'm Allie.
I'm Callie, and whatever you do today, make sure it's creative.
And speak like a bard.
The Allie and Callie Artcast is sponsored in part by Tubbs Coffee Roasters, globally sourced, locally roasted coffee. Scraps Barbecue, a locally owned catering company. The Ovation Company, standing for what is right and good. And Pyramid Printing, a Coeur d'Alene favorite for over 2 decades.